Hiya ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. Grin, why are you so loud? Okay, I'll be really honest. I was just trying to play, or just trying to make, I made 2 videos covering Eula. I tried to be as helpful as I possibly could for like the Joe Schmo player. But man, it's hard. When you gotta like to express yourself and you kind of hold back and try to be helpful, but you're also like, but wait, this doesn't work. Like, but it does work, but it's, but ladies and gentlemen, once again, the time has happened where it feels like, to me at least, and I could be, again, I know nothing. I just want to stress that enough. I'm not coming for anybody. This is just how I am perceiving things, feel things. I'm probably incorrect, but I still need to talk to you guys about it. Maybe you guys feel the same way, and maybe I'm not a lunatic, but Eula came out, and I was absolutely excited for this character. I do not hate Eula. We stress that right at the top. But I do feel like, and this is just kind of a passive thing in the background, I do feel like it's happening again where people who are content creators, whether it be streamers, whether it be whatever, I'm not coming for anybody, I'm just saying it feels like there's a huge disconnect between normal people and people who paid $300, $500 for this character. And yeah. Or maybe just got really lucky and didn't have to do that. But regardless, I didn't pay anything. So I was like, I'm not in this like fucking nightmare of life. Okay? But it is incredibly frustrating when people who, to me, if you want to say that Eula is totally fine, then play her at her normal. Not play her at her absolute highest with R5 and R5 weapons. And the most crazy artifacts you've ever seen that have crit rate and crit damage built in on a base, not even like barely using the crown essentially, because you're using a weapon that doesn't give you a critical rate or anything like that. Anyways, you need a shit ton of stuff built in. Yeah, if you want to say that she's 100% great and like totally fine, then use her at her weakest. You know what I mean? That's the thing that's so frustrating. Is like, you know what, she's not. You think when she's at her highest, she seems still good, but not crazy like everybody else at their highest. But that discounts what she is when she's not at her highest. And that's not to say that Eula is shit. Eula is like, I don't know. People said clean and whatnot felt clunky. I want to stress this. It is not getting Grim Heart stacks is not a problem at all, my guy. We play all kinds of games on this channel. We play Let Die, Dark Souls, all the things, bullshit. We play with other Dark Souls clones, anyways. It's not like that. But it feels jarring and very weird, and it almost feels like for how much you build physical damage. I got 100 and some odd physical damage with Eula. I got a lot of shit, and it still feels like she's not hitting like she should. And I got like a decent amount, I got a really good amount of crit rate, I got a decent amount of crit damage, nothing crazy. I got like a 96 or something. I know, and again, that's to me the discrepancy, is people who are like, they're able to get past 50 crit rate, but also 140 crit damage. Like, you need to have incredible art. Like, there's one thing to just get like some good artifact built-in stuff. To get that much crit rate or crit damage in one artifact is nutty. And again, just in case you guys are frustrated, Eula can be utilized pretty damn well, but it's essentially exactly what Mihoyo described, unfortunately, which is that she is a burst character. I was expecting, for how much physical damage I got, for how much all of the things like critical rate, all these things, for how much shit I built specifically, because yeah, you'll think you got every pathway, bang, 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 going, and yet there's still not, there's like, you get there and you're like, oh wow, this was, even though I have most things in the right order, it still doesn't seem like it's getting me to the place I need to be. And it sucks because, again, I look online and I see just these people who are dealing like 10,000 damage on her base attack, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm dealing 4,000 damage on the low end and 8,000 on the high end. That's probably because I don't have the most cracked critical decals. And I could show you guys. My Eula, by the way, my Eula's not bad. I can function with her. But the question is comparison. Now, again, one of the arguments is that not every character needs to be ungodly broken like Ganyu. I agree. I don't think anyone should be like Ganyu, but I think people could be like Xiao. I think people could be like Hu Tao, maybe. C1 Hu Tao, maybe not C2. That's where she gets a little nutty. But yeah, and Eula kinda can be that way, but there's like restrictions for no reason. And also, there's shit within her constellations that really seem like big things. Like the first one, which is when you do what you're gonna do anyway, if you're playing her correctly, you're getting 30% physical damage. That's a lot. That can make your normal attack start hitting for things like 12,000 damage. Okay, 15,000 damage if you're really lucky with artifacts. And then this one basically makes it so that you have like 0 kind of management skills, which is kind of a dumb skill. I don't like that at all. One thing I do like about Eula is the fact that she is the character that kind of feeds off of stacks, and she's weirdly like a berserker, but like a weird berserker. Yeah, Razor, I guess, is a better description of what I would determine to be a berserker, just a person that can just chew through things. But I like the idea of like having to manage stuff. I just don't know if the rewards are as good as they are, because whenever you're killing things as Eula, they die before you get to be able to do anything. Yeah, and it's just kind of a weird sense. It's because like you're not dealing great damage, but at the same time everything's dying because things are on like a 3-second cooldown, and just generally in Genshin things don't take 3 seconds to kill unless you have one character built that's hitting things. But if you have 2 or 3 or whatever, things don't take that long at all to kill, so Eula kind of becomes incredibly redundant at that point. And to me, I was going to be like, okay, well, Eula makes for a great sword, you know? Just generally. She seems like the most ideal, how do you describe it? Ideal character for like a secondary DPS. Because she's all physical damage, she's not elemental, she's not having to wait for her abilities to kind of fuck with and to buff herself up. But she does, unless you have, of course, an abundance of artifacts and like critical damage and critical rate and them coming from your artifacts. Or if you have that in your weapons. But if you want to get your white dot higher, you go physical damage, of course. So it just seems like a weird thing. And I just wanted to test something, and this could be a really weird bit of business. So this is Eula, by the way. I'm not going to try to dissuade like Eula's bad. I'm at the point where Eula can be incredibly functioning, but not to the extent of Xiao. I can execute more damage with Xiao than Eula easily, and I can feed myself back into Xiao effortlessly, meaning I can like go alt to alt to alt. Eula eventually will have a lack of cooldown, and yeah. But yeah, we're gonna kill this thing again. I want to describe Eula's not bad. My Eula's not like, it's not like I'm like my shit's just fucked. You know, we're gonna do one of these. We're gonna do one of these. We're gonna melee build up them stacks. If I can find this bastard, there he is. Get more stacks. Again, he's almost dead. By the time I'm able to do anything, he's gonna be dead, and I couldn't even activate my charge. So yeah. Again, it's not that Eula's bad, it's just but by the time you're able to do anything, they die. And again, it's people could be like, oh, but you just shitty your weapon, asshole. You're like using a great weapon and that's why she's killing things. No. I mean, the reason why she's killing things is because I spent like months and months getting her a crit rate and crit damage and really good artifacts on her at a base. Also, I decreased the shit out of that guy's physical damage by a lot, by a whole mess of a lot. By the way, my Xiao could kill him in like half a second. So it's like, yeah, it's like you gotta be, oh, but yeah, but again, it's like a weird death by 1,000 cuts, but also
you don't even get to use her mechanics.
Yeah, and again, the way she's supposed to work, I'll show you guys how. Like, this is how most people who actually have her can play her, with exception of the damage. Again, more normal people are not going to be able to deal the damage I'm dealing because I have a fucking sword that makes her deal an abundance of that kind of damage. I just want to test something. So this is the way she kind of plays. This is enough enemies to hopefully be able to get something out of this and showcase some stuff. Also, Zhongli's giving me buffs and just a myriad of things. So yeah, you'll just have to trust me on that. So we got 1 stack of Grimheart. We're going to keep meleeing and just jumping around. We're going to get another stack of Grimheart. Now we have max stacks. We're going to activate our hold. Everything's dead. We're going to activate our hold this one. Boom! Does a bunch of damage. We're going to activate this. Hit this one more time, boom, and now we're basically done. We just gotta keep meleeing, but by the time anything happens, they're dead. Now, again, people can be like, what the fuck, Grin, you're just slapping shit, right? Yes, but it doesn't change the fact that it feels like really odd. And also, this is something I want to test. This could be absolute bullshit, but she's dealing with like 6, again, on a good day, it's like 4,000 damage on the low end, and on the high end, it's like 8,000, right? And that's, with Super Conduct, it goes like 5 or 6 on the low end, and like 9 or 8 on the high end, in terms of critting and how that kind of weirdly functions. So, I just want to test something, because my Razor is incredibly underbuilt in every possible way. Now, she will have the idea of her ult basically being this huge burst, where she can deal essentially, like I think I've seen on normal people, 89 basically, 1,000 damage, which is a good huge chunk of damage. If you have everything built on the high end, I think it's like well, it depends. It's like anything, anywhere from like 110 to 500, because if you have all the whale shit, you can fucking smash. But I wanted to try something just a little bit. We're gonna go Razor, and we're gonna go with a cryo character to replace some shit. My boy Razor. Take this. Okay, so I just gave everything the Razor had to him. He has very low critical damage, but he has a decent amount of what do you call it, crit rate, and he has, I think, an abnormal amount of physical damage. So let's check this out. Let's see how he plays. If it's the same as Eula. We're gonna enter in with a death from above. We're gonna do one of these. 12,000 damage, but that's kind of sus, I'll be honest. We're gonna do this. Come on, Chi-Chi. Please, Chi-Chi, don't do this. Oh, great. This. Okay, so hopefully, or do we have 9,000 damage right there? 3,000, okay, 4,000. Can I get super conduct in here, and then I can start dealing 9,000, 10,000, 15,000. Yeah, so we're dealing 15,000 damage on the high end with a base attack. Now, you might be like, but GRINN, you can pop really hard, right? Like, just big boom, right? Crazy. Okay, well, let's give it a minute. It's like the things like, yeah, she can pop, but Razor can consistently output a shit ton of damage.
Hello, we here in Past and editing basics. I just want to clarify what I meant. Essentially, in Genshin Impact, the amount of times you are facing wave-based survival type things, or enemies are spread out from you. This is something that Razor capitalizes on immensely because he has a form or a roaming super, or a roaming alt, whatever you want to call it. Not only that, but it increases his attack speed and all of these things. Where Eula, again, she has a burst in a kind of shallow area. It's not a massive area of influence. And not only that, but it's also, that's the negative of these kinds of burst classes, is that when enemies are far away, or when they are coming out in phases, you basically lose your ult. And with the excessive cooldown of her ult, it's, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like the odds of you, like, Razor's ult can come back in seconds without any sort of, like, weakness. You know what I mean? So let's be kind of reasonable about this. Let's go and try to kill... let's do that. Let's go kill a boss. Let's go kill the cryo boss. So that way I don't have to apply super contact. I just hit LE with my Razor and see what happens, okay? And if I wanted to, actually, because I don't need certain characters, I could actually, I think, apply... Yeah, Xin Yan, because I don't need Water Boy, really. I guess I do need for his healing. Yeah, if I wanted, I don't need cryo here. But I guess I would, so that's a bit unfair, because if I were to do Eula, I think she would still need that. Okay, so let's leave it like that. Okay, let's just see what we can do in terms of burst damage with Razor, with this. We're gonna do one of these, we're gonna do one of these, this, we're gonna do this, and this, and we're gonna melee. Alright, now we're finally dealing damage. 8,000, 8,000, 13,000, boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. So again, pretty fast. Like, it didn't feel like anything. I probably should have done a little bit smarter. I probably should have built up stacks with my thing, because it gives me extra attacks. But now let's be equally as fair and go and fight the fire boss. We'll be applying super conduct the same way. And again, Eula's cryo, so she's gonna have a bonus against this. Now, it's not that she's gonna be better, but just it's like by the fucking razor-ish sharp of margins. And I don't think, but also that's the other thing. My Razor is nothing compared to my Eula in terms of its talents. Let's see. In my talents, okay, so this is kind of up in the air. I don't have this thing leveled up. I get an innate 3 because he's a 4-star. If the odds of you getting a Eula, if you're somewhat of a light spender or what, even if a medium spender, of getting all the way to like max her talent attributes with an extra 3 is not a thing. So it can minus a bunch from my previous abilities. The only one I have leveled up is my base melee. All of this just shouldn't fucking matter, basically, because again, I'm almost maxed out on leveling up Eula's talents. I got, I'm at 7 and 8, I think, so I'm very, very close to being, I got 2 more levels for both of the talents, in 2 of this sets, so yeah, but with Razor, I got plenty more to be invested in him. That's what I'm trying to get at. Alright, so we're gonna go to Eula. Oh, I forgot, I need to switch everything back. That's annoying. Anyways, this one might suck, because yeah, Shinsho isn't revving to go right now, unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do one of these. Hopefully we can build enough particles. It wasn't enough. Shit. Well, we can still, well actually this should maybe have a chance of breaking it. Is that tick hitting? It should hit right now. Alright, so we're gonna use our charge, and that should give us our ult. Do one of these. This. And everything is about to die, but by the time we get there, everything is gonna be dead before we do anything. So, again, it's not like a huge thing. And also, she's very, very leveled up. I wanna stress that. She's like, Razor is, again, her talents, like my Razor basically can go way, way deeper because I have Constellation for him. And you getting Constellation for Razor isn't absurd, he's a 4-star.
Hi guys, me here in post or editing. I just wanted to clarify something again. Razor has potentially way more investment. I can invest way more into his skills because I, of course, had his Constellations, right? But when it comes to Eula, I can't do that unless I'm willing to wail out like crazy, which of course I am not. And what you guys are seeing right now when it comes to the gameplay is that Razor and Eula are neck and neck. And I mean, in some cases, and I'll be fair, in Eula's case, I probably should have just kept meleeing and not use one of her fundamental abilities. Or maybe just used her fundamental ability. But my point is that in some cases, a lot of cases, Razor is actually better than Eula because of the fact that his super is roaming. He gets to keep his kind of amplification of damage and not spend it all in one place. But Eula has that burst, which yeah, can be good, but also really bad because you have a long cooldown with Eula, and Razor can kind of just feed into his next ult immediately and gain the benefits of being able to spread out damage for a long period of time. So yeah, I don't know. It's not like we don't have like Zhongli's ult that can hit hard and things like that. So yeah, it's just a little odd.
So yeah, again, my Eula has significantly more than him entirely. Yeah, I think this is talent like 6, and this one's high. You got me on that one. That one's high. But I only have one attack buff on him than her, and yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. Yeah, my main crux is that I've been farming for a long time, and I got really lucky with my artifacts even. With the exception of like, I just need one critical decal mod, and that could maybe get me tapping into like the 10,000 damage, because this is kind of always the issue with Genshin, to some extent, is like what you want from a character may not be what Mihoyo wants, which I was really hoping I was really hoping that she would just be a really, really strong attacking character. She would hit for like 13 to like 16 or 17 on her normal attack and whatnot, but instead, no, they were like, no, let's put all of her power into her ult, so that you can deal those big damage numbers, which to me, I was like, well, I kind of would just like her to be kind of just a really, really rounded, good DPS that kind of hits hard consistently, rather than another kind of burst character, because we already have pyro shit in the game. We already have like the vaporized procs that can hit for really, really hard. I want someone who's consistent and quick, and can cut down basic ass mods fast as shit, which she can do if you have an abundance of crit rate and crit damage, to the point where it's kind of insane. Like, it was so much easier to build my Xiao, and my Xiao can basically deal the same kind of damage that she can endlessly without any cooldown, which is why I'm kind of like, okay, I guess. And he doesn't need, he's a unga bunga stupid playstyle. You don't need to like manage shit, besides like just using your dashes before you use your ult. But I don't know, man. A part of me is like, I know there's a silver lining if I can get her all the way perfect. Like, if I can get enough crit damage in the 140 or some range, then yeah, I'm able to like actually hit pretty damn hard and get to that like 10,000 damage per hit. Razor's also able to get that though. That was before the thing even happened. But with that being said though, Eula also has this massive burst. Sure, Razor has a consistent damage output, and I would argue in some cases, if not all cases, that's more valuable. Not only because Razor can back-to-back his ult if you have even the slightest ability to recharge, but also Razor gets his ult is like a long period of damage that can be spread out between multiple enemies and not just a single target, which is Eula's biggest problem. Is, yeah, she can hit like a truck, but what happens when enemies are, oh, I don't know, spread out or come in waves like Spiral Abyss or whatever? So I don't know. It to me, it's just like you had to, the character idea is really, really cool of like you building up stacks. But I hate that it's spent, you know? And we kind of knew it would be like that, but I was hoping that it would, like, her physical damage would be incredible, like, pretty damn good. Like, just able to, like, melee and fuck shit up, and she kind of is, but she also kind of isn't. And I don't know, I'll keep seeing on YouTube and everywhere, just her, like, smashing shit, and I'm like, that's not what normal people are going to be playing with. There's going to be times when you're hitting for, like, 300 or 3,000, but she's a Claymore user. You know what I mean? And my Xiao hits for like 4,000 on, and he hits like fast as shit. And he hits for, what do you call it, like 15 or 17,000 on his E-dash, which comes back in seconds, and his ult basically hits for 40,000. And I can activate that all the time, whenever I want, however I want, you know? So it's like, okay. And again, they're just, it's weird because it's like with the adage of Hu Tao and like just vaporize, basically. Just being able to like hit really, really hard. It puts every character in this weird place where, like, again, people are like, do you think every character should be broken? No. Do I think every character should be on a certain, like, level? That way they're not, like, significantly worse, and there's not really, like, a reason to use them outside of the fact that maybe you like their aesthetic or their look. I think they should also be able to compete relative to the people around them. Like, one of the things I'm thinking about, like, and again, I don't mean comparisons of Thief of Joy, but like, what's her name? Yenfi? Yenfi just came out a couple days ago, and I think if you were to give Eula the same, like, an amount of time, and Yenfi the same amount of time, Yenfi is going to destroy Eula in terms of DPS, and it's consistent DPS. It's not like DPS in a specific amount of time. It's like, no. If we had the same amount of time, I'm almost certain Yenfi could capitalize on more damage output, period. Just constantly. Just with the amount of consistency that she can output damage. Whereas Yenfi, even though she's a burst character, will not net even near the same damage as Eula. Or as Yenfi, sorry. Yeah, basically Yenfi to me seems like a greater DPS, and she's a 4-star, and she's all about building stacks, and she's like kind of like a weird fire berserker. I don't regret anything in terms of getting Yenfi. I like her aesthetic and look, and I'll make her work regardless. I just think, again, it's frustrating when you're seeing content creators just smash shit, and you're like, she's totally great and absolutely wonderful, and I'm like, play her at her worst then. You're playing her at her absolute peak best. Of course she's gonna be fucking okay and good, you know? It's a bit frustrating, but ladies and gentlemen, I digress. I could be dead ass wrong. Again, this is just the way I'm seeing things, and the kind of like the frustration building up as well. Again, she's still very, very viable and good. That's not the argument. The argument is that is she even nearly as viable as any of the DPSs outside of a Ganyu and a Zhongli, which are just kind of broken by default. But yeah, even comparing them to other people, is she? I don't know, maybe. She's all DPS. That's all she can be. She's not like doing anything support-wise. So yeah, I don't know. With her being so into being a DPS, you can't partner with anybody. Well, that's not true. You can make her a side DPS, kind of, and use her physical damage if you have that scaling up, but that's not, again, she's mostly a burst character. Unless you have super high crit rate and crit damage, she's a burst character. You know, so I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe button to my right, 2 videos further that way. Thank you once again for your time, and hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. Also, I will continue to make some Eula videos, even though I'm at the point where I'm like, man, she seems like odd character for sure. Anyways, thank you so much for your time, and goodbye.